Protesters are gathering on the streets of the Thai capital, Bangkok, as lawmakers vote on possible reforms to the constitution. The rally comes a day after the most violent clashes between police and demonstrators since July. Police used tear gas and water cannons to drive back crowds. Dozens were injured, including 6 people who were hit by gunshots. Bangkok has seen months of youth-led rallies calling for changes to the constitution and, most controversially, reforms to Thailand's monarchy. Let's cross over to Bangkok, where journalist Philip Sherwell has been following this story for us. Protesters have returned to the streets today. You've talked to him, I understand. What are they saying?
Yeah, they really want to make a point. They were gathering outside Parliament yesterday, where MPs have been considering possible changes to the Constitution. And this is one of the core demands of the protesters. Those protests yesterday ended in some fairly nasty clashes, and they really want to sort of return to the streets now and make clear that they're not being cowed. And also there is talk that they may march on the police headquarters. The police are certainly expecting that, and they've barricaded themselves in using trucks and razor wire to sort of blockade the gates, and warn that there will be very decisive action against protesters if they do try to make a move there. It's not clear if the protesters will do that or if they're actually trying to fool the police and might have another destination as their ultimate end, because they have been known to do that in previous weeks as well.
And while we're looking at live pictures of that protest going on, what can you tell us about the constitutional amendments that are currently being voted on?
Yes, well, so the Parliament has been sitting yesterday, and MPs have been, and senators have been voting today on a series of possible amendments to the Constitution. Now, the Constitution was drafted by the military under the old junta, and basically enshrines the sort of role of the monarchy in key positions in the country, and indeed of the sort of military-backed elite. And the protesters have been insistent that if you're going to have change in Thailand, change from the top, then you have to rewrite this constitution. Now, the versions that are being voted on today run the gamut from very minor tweaks to major changes. But it does seem that the MPs and senators, it's a complicated process of voting for different amendments, are going to back, perhaps not surprisingly, because they are the government majority, some very sort of conservative amendments that would only essentially establish a drafting committee to look at possible changes down the road. The students and the protesters will be very unhappy with that, and that, they told me today, if those votes are confirmed while they're out in the streets, they're going to make that central to what they're doing today in terms of their messaging and in terms of their and the demonstrations.
So what about the changes to the monarchy that demonstrators want, and are they likely to get it?
The answer to that is they probably aren't. They're facing a huge uphill challenge. The Constitution, the early clauses of it, this military drafted Constitution, do enshrine the monarchy's power to govern in key regards. The king also has assumed powers since he became the monarch in 2016 over key elements of the budget and over key military appointments. The students insist this has to change, that Thailand, that this is not the constitutional monarchy that Thailand is on paper. They say in practice the power of the royal family is way too strong, but they're up against the royal family, the military that backs them, and big businesses that sort of support the current establishment. So, you know, they're up against very strong vested interests, and to achieve change on that front would be a major breakthrough. But they're determined to show on the streets that they have the energy and the momentum to keep this going.
Journalist Philip Sherwell reporting for us from Bangkok in Thailand. Thank you.
Thank you.